Jim and Jason have been growing grapes for decades. So did their fathers. But they're among hundreds of growers threatening to pull their vines out of the ground. Their industry is in crisis. Too many grapes and not enough money being made is sending Australia's biggest grape growing region to the brink of collapse. Growers say they're being squeezed by Australia's second largest wine company, Accolade, accusing it of taking advantage of an oversupply following a ban on Aussie wine by China. A few years ago, growers were paid $700 a tonne. Now, Accolade offers just $150, not even close to covering the costs of growing the grapes. Farmers can't survive and they're preparing to walk away for good. Growers Jim Giargis and Jason Perrin join me now from Loveday in South Australia's Riverland region. Fellas, welcome to you both. Jim, your father started your vineyard, which you've continued to grow in what is a beautiful part of the world. Has making a living ever been as hard as it is right now?
Well, I've never seen it. I've been growing grapes here for 38 years myself. My father started the vineyard in 1970. So we've been here for 53 years. We've seen the ups and downs of the wine industry, but nothing like this. This is something different.
And Jason, you and the other growers are all in a co-op and you're all contracted to supply grapes to the one wine company. How did that happen in the first place and when did things start to go bad for you?
There's about 530 odd growers currently who are CCW members in that co-op. We have a preferred supply agreement with a major corporate winery and as we did with their predecessors for quite a number of years after the co-op ceased making wine itself. So we just supply grapes and then that's where the preferred supplier agreement comes in as a one-stop shop. The corporate winery has an obligation to buy the bulk of its grapes from us collectively within the co-op, and then they source out on the spot market, for want of a better term, the surplus grapes that they need.
So effectively you're at their mercy in many ways. How many growers are struggling in the region?
I would say a lot of growers are struggling now. The majority of growers would be finding themselves squeezed because this is the second year we're well into, the second harvest we're well into, where we have got lower crops, but the killer is the prices for the second year in a row, which are absolutely unsustainable. And no business, no matter what it is, can really tick along well if you've had two absolutely critical years with the costs of what you sell. Not just farmers, any business. And that's the situation we're in, and we look to possibly have that situation in 2025. And it's not just because of China and the tariffs that's in there, but there are a lot of other factors in the mix. It's been a pot brewing with oversupply for probably about 20 to 23 years.
And Jim, if the growers do go under, what sort of impact is that going to have, not just on the wine growing families, but on the whole region?
Well, I mean, the region really relies on this industry quite a bit because it's the largest industry in this in the Riverland. We produce 67% of the grapes for South Australia, and I think it's about 27–28% nationally. And if we go under, well, the whole region, the whole Riverland, is looking at a stage where it's, collapsing quite severely. It's hemorrhaging at the moment, and that's why we need some sort of help from governments. Governments need to step in and come and have a look at what's actually really happening here, because I mean, when we're harvesting grapes for $150 a tonne, it is unsustainable when the cost of production is between $300 and $350. And
Jim, you were looking at passing the farm on to your son. Are you having second thoughts about that now?
Well, that's the other thing too, like I said, I had three boys. The two left to the city and one wanted to stay back on the farm, and I was happy about that, very happy, because we actually have built on to our business since he stayed on, and looking to move even further, you know, because we not just grape growers, we're also contractors, and that is another issue in itself, because, you know, we're harvesting people's grapes and we don't even know if we're going to get paid, because I'm a grower and I know how people are feeling, and that's the other effect, that people will not be able to pay their bills. So that growers won't be able to pay the harvester bill, the transport bill, their chemical bill, their fertiliser bill, their water bill. You know, everything is so, and the cost of everything has gone through the roof.
Well, we know how hard it is to make a living on the land at the best of times, so our thoughts are with you. We'll keep a close eye on how this progresses. Jim and Jason, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Deb.
Thank you, Deb.